Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have very exciting updates to share about Donald Trump investigations and cases. So, first, the most exciting news that should have Trump soiling his tidy whities. It was reported late yesterday that Rudy Giuliani was recently questioned by the special counsel, not the grand jury, the special counsel's office. The New York Times was the first to report that Giuliani took part in a proffer meeting. So, a proffer session typically precedes a cooperation deal. Basically, they have the person come in, they say, "Come on in, tell us what you know. If it's valuable, if it's juicy enough, if it will help us to make a case against someone else, someone higher up, and if we can prove that you're not being dishonest, if we know you're telling us the truth, we will promise not to prosecute you for your part in that illegal activity." So this is really bad news for Trump. It is awesome news for the rest of the country. A source told the Washington Post that Giuliani was asked about the fake elector scheme. He was asked about the role, especially played by attorney John Eastman in all of that, who I will have an update for you guys on his trial, not real trial, but disbarment trial. I will have an update for you on that tomorrow. The special counsel also asked Giuliani about attorney Sidney Powell and her part in trying to overturn the election. I'm sure he was more than happy to help with that part. I shared just the other day how Giuliani now refers to Powell as the Wicked Witch of the East. So there is no love lost between the two of them at this point. In addition, Giuliani was pressed for details about what took place at the Willard Hotel in the days leading up to January 6th. As we all know, Trump and his allies reportedly used that hotel kind of like a command center. They were using it to plot their next moves. They would all get together there. So those details about the Willard Hotel would implicate a whole slew of Trump's inner circle, people like Steve Bannon, Boris Epstein, so many others. And sources say that, at least they told CNN, it appears that the special counsel is close to making a charging decision. I shared with you the other day, they were telling everyone, you have to come in, you have to testify before the grand jury before the end of this month, which tells you they're under a time crunch for some reason. So Rudy Giuliani sees the writing on the wall, and he is under pressure from all sides. I mean, he is being sued by so many people right now for January 6th, for defamation, for sexual harassment and assault. And I'm sure that he's now looking at what just happened with Walt Nauta. Well, I'll get to details about him in a minute. And he's probably thinking, I'm next. I am going to be Trump's next co-defendant. So I got to cut a deal. And remember, Trump stiffed him. Rudy went around the country, did all of the stuff he did, pulled all the shenanigans trying to get the election overturned. And then Trump supposedly ditched him and didn't cover any of his legal fees because he didn't win. So he has an axe to grind. This is Trump's biggest mistake that he makes, is burning his bridges. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on that. Also, buried in a lengthy Washington Post article, there was a revelation that Trump's team referred to his election lies as, quote, bullshit. Trump advisor Jason Miller was communicating with a man who worked at an advertising company. He was an executive there. Miller was sharing some concerns with him in this email about different ads that they were planning for Trump and about the election. So he wrote to this guy, quote, "The campaign's own legal team and data experts cannot verify the bullshit being beamed down from the mothership." So clearly, the mothership would be Trump and his closest people, right? Miller then added that that was why Giuliani and his other team of lawyers were, quote, 0 for 32 in court. So obviously not all of the cases had settled out yet because it ended up being I think it was 1 for 61 or something like that. And even the one that they won wasn't about fraud. They also have evidence showing that Trump wanted to issue a press release saying that one single report of voter fraud was the quote, tip of the iceberg. So his campaign advisors recommended removing that language because they said, we can't prove that. Well, the news release went out with that false statement in it anyway. So this is really crucial because the special counsel is trying to determine if the Trump campaign knowingly defrauded their donors. If you just make a statement and you have every reason to believe that it's true, that wouldn't be fraud. But if they knew for a fact, which I would think the 2 reports that they commissioned to the tune of millions and millions of dollars that showed no fraud or so little fraud it didn't affect the election, I would think that would prove it. But, you got to come with the sledgehammer. Otherwise, the MAGA crowd isn't going to buy it in court. So if they knew that they were lying to their people, lying to their donors, and they did it through emails, then the Justice Department can charge them with wire fraud. In addition to all of that, the Georgia Secretary of State was interviewed on Wednesday by the special counsel. That, of course, had to do with Trump's attempt to overturn the election results in that state. Next up is some heinous news. Trump is suing E. Jean Carroll for defamation. Unbelievable. He claims that Carroll caused him harm because she said he raped her. Trump's lawsuit says that, this is not true because based on the jury's decision, they found that Trump sexually abused and defamed her, but they said that she failed to prove that he had raped her. Well, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means she didn't have the evidence to back it up. But it's been 30 years or something, and then there's no physical evidence, and Trump refused to hand over a DNA sample. So Carroll's attorney issued a statement saying that Trump is just trying to evade accountability. And she said, quote, whether he likes it or not, that accountability is coming very soon. So we'll see if that goes anywhere, but it's truly reprehensible. After being found liable for sexually abusing this woman, he turns around and sues her. Seriously, this man has no morals, no conscience. There's also a bit of news about the classified documents case. As I alluded to, his valet and co-defendant Walt Nauta was supposed to be arraigned on Tuesday of this week. Well, he still can't find an attorney in Florida willing to take the case. His DC attorney appeared on his behalf and he asked for a continuance to July 6th. But yeah, no one in the area is willing to take his case. That's what you call a clue, Walt. Walt, you in danger, girl. You better call Monty Hall and make a deal, Walt, before it's too late. In regard to the porn star hush money case, the Manhattan District Attorney is trying to obtain emails that were sent between the Trump Organization and the White House. They've also asked for emails exchanged between Melania Trump and longtime Trump executive Rona Graff. We don't know exactly what it is they're searching for, but when this news broke, Melania's former BFF, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, she tweeted out, quote, Melania Trump used several email addresses, texts, and Signal to communicate with me and others while working in the White House, and prosecutors want to see them. Whoops. So that bad news for Trump was then followed up by more bad news by a decision by a federal judge. U.S. District Judge Alvin Hellerstein refused Trump's request to move the hush money case out of the state court and into a federal court. Trump had asked for that. He believes that the state judge is biased against him. This is the same judge who handled the case of the Trump Organization issue with Alan Weisselberg. So he thinks the guy is biased. But Trump's attorney made a very different argument in court. He made several different arguments, but one of which was just laughable. He said the federal courts are better suited to decide if a president can be sued for conduct related to official duties. I mean, that is just absurd, right? To say, oh, he was paying off a porn star as part of his official duties. So the judge called them out on that, and Judge Hellerstein said, quote, "There's no relation to any act of the president." And then the judge also pointed out that Trump's hiring of a private attorney, meaning Michael Cohen, to do work for him while he was the president is evidence that this had nothing to do with his official duties. Because, yeah, he has White House attorneys. Why would you go out and hire a private attorney? So last but not least is not great news. Ivanka Trump just caught a break. A 5-judge panel ruled that although Trump can't dismiss the entire New York fraud case, that's the $250 million case brought by the New York Attorney General, they did say that Ivanka Trump should be removed as a defendant. What the judges determined is that the claims against Ivanka were too old and that the allegations, quote, "do not support any claims that accrued after February 6, 2016. So she was at that point working on Trump's campaign, and then she went to work in the White House after he won the presidency. So they're, in some ways, I guess, saying she wasn't culpable for many of the allegations, but anything that happened before that, they're saying, oh, it's, too late. Sorry, statute of limitations. So anyway, guys, I will let you know when I hear more, but this Rudy Giuliani stuff is super exciting. Super exciting. We're going to do our dance. Yeah, we're going to wobble. We will wobble when he flips officially and Donald Trump goes to prison. Yay. All right. I'll talk with you guys soon. You can help out by subscribing, by donating, sharing this video is a huge help. That's underestimated. People don't realize how much that helps the algorithm. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you're notified of all of my videos. And again, if you can donate, that truly helps to keep the show going. Really, really appreciate it. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.